listening to pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 73, Turning Point. Today's episode is about one of our 5 universal skills. Our universal skills we can develop out of 5 characteristics that are always present, universals. So, whatever situation we may find ourselves in, these universals are always there. And today's episode is about motion, universal skill, motion. If you look at the Polaroid for today's episode, the image for motion is a tennis ball in mid-air. And since it is a picture, the ball is at a standstill. The ball is at its turning point. What goes up must come down. And just when something turns from going up to going down, it stands still. Right now, there is a sense of change in the air. We can all feel the turning point. For as long as I have remembered, I am 33 years of age. And for as long as I can remember, one quality that has always been held in very high regard has been self-restraint. Throughout the Western world, self-restraint has been held very high. However, right now, there is this feeling, and there is evidence for that self-restraint is starting to be replaced by overt displays of strength, dominance. No longer restraining ourselves, but exerting raw strength, dominance. I am talking from Sweden, and the mood in Sweden is not the same as in, let's say, America. When I follow the sort of mood, people's reactions to news in the United States online, I get the feeling that the United States is at this turning point from restraint to strength. It's in how people talk to one another. It's in how, when people meet at large gatherings, what people side with, what people laugh at, what kind of jokes people laugh at. In Sweden, I would say the turning point is not here. Not yet, at least. And I'm open to that the turning point might not really manifest in Sweden in the same way as it is doing in the United States right now. In Sweden, self-restraint is held still in very high regard. It is not unusual in a Swedish context to look at other countries, examples of demonstrating overt strength, overt dominance, and sort of contrasting that with the Swedish constant self-restraint. Today's episode is called Turning Point, and we will look at this point in time through the glasses of universal skill motion. When I was a kid, I was in this sort of running race. Like, what could I have been? Maybe 10 years old, 11. And the race was in this forest nearby a lake. And the race was at an English mile, 1.6 kilometers, I think. And as we stand at the start line, we are about 100 boys gonna run this English mile. And I'm confident. I know I can run. I know I should be one of the faster kids. And then the start goes off. And almost all the kids just sprint like crazy, because all the parents are there, relatives are there, pretty girls are there. So naturally, all the guys just start running like crazy. And I don't know why, I just felt that this is not wise if we want to win. So, starting out, I was dead last in this race. But the race was for an English mile. So throughout this forest route, I overtook one after the other. And it was both satisfying and a bit awkward, because every kid I overtook, it was this sort of awkward moment when they realized their mistake, that they had been vain and just bull rushed the first 100 yards in front of the pretty girls. So, finishing this race, I finished in 5th place. So I overtook about 95 of the kids. It was a very strange experience. So I got to run past the pretty girls on the coming in instead, and placing high in the race. And I don't know if this anecdote applies in full for the turning point we are in, or are at right now. But it bears some similarities. We are at this turning point when the race is just about to start, and there are, so to speak, a lot of pretty girls standing and looking on what we're gonna do. And it is very appealing to just bull rush right now. After all, the ideal, if we want to oversimplify a bit, the ideal has been to restrain ourselves for many years. And it is very tempting to now, when it seems like the tide is turning from restraint to strength, to just let it all out, to just scream and run and just flex everything we got. But the race is long. The race is not a 100-yard dash. The race might not even be an English mile. The race might be a marathon, so to speak. And if we are in for a marathon, and we sprint right now because we are vain, it's not gonna be a fun race. So the motion, universal skill motion, going forward should be for a marathon. That's it for today. Thank you.